This week I beat Amnesia: The Dark Descent and Amnesia: Machine for Pigs, the sequel to The Dark Descent, two first-person horror games. The first was developed by Frictional Games in 2010, and the second was developed by the Chinese Room in 2013. I'm not a fan of the horror genre, so coming into these games I was hoping for a good, spine-chilling story. One of these games delivered on that, and one did not. The Dark Descent took me 5 hours and 24 minutes to beat and had a few alternate endings. Machine for Pigs took me 2 hours and 59 minutes to beat, and both games retail for $19.99 on the Steam store.
Don't forget, some things mustn't be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair.
The Dark Descent opens with the main character, Daniel from Mayfair, waking up on the floor of an old castle. In the beginning, this is all we know. As we progress through the game, we find letters that reveal more of the story to the player bit by bit. We come to realize that Daniel from Mayfair has purposefully caused himself to forget the past, hence the name Amnesia, but his past self sends his present self to descend deeper into the castle to the inner sanctum to kill an old man named Alexander, hence the name The Dark Descent. The gameplay revolves around moving into new sections of the castle and completing puzzles. Some puzzles were trivial and some were head scratchers, but an unexpectedly high number of puzzles were solved by throwing rocks at the thing. Additionally, there are sanity and health meters to keep in mind. Sanity drains if Daniel witnesses something horrifying and recovers by making game progress. Levels of light impact Daniel's sanity and helps to see, so the majority of gameplay involves collecting tinderboxes and lamp oil. While I originally found this to be tedious, in hindsight, it did a good job of facilitating exploration. Even though I only used a fraction of my collected tinderboxes and oil by the end of the game, I did go out of my way searching for more, which usually resulted in my finding of more letters and therefore uncovering more of the story. I did come into this game completely blind. I had never seen a full playthrough before. I was somewhat surprised to find that there actually was in fact a monster in the game. The monster usually walks a scripted path and operates as an interactive cinematic when he does appear. These sections serve to slow down the player and build suspense. As the game continues, Daniel learns more about why he chose to forget and why he's so upset with Alexander. In the end, there are 4 possible endings to choose from. Altogether, I must say I'm very happy with how Amnesia: The Dark Descent turned out. The story was enjoyable, and that was what I was looking for. Basically, Alexander and Daniel tortured a bunch of people and used an amnesia potion to make them forget, so they could torture them all over again. Supposedly, by torturing the victims, they could harvest their vitae, a key ingredient in eternal life. Daniel feels bad about it, so he drinks an amnesia potion himself and tells himself to kill Alexander. The puzzles and physics were enjoyable enough that it felt like a game was being played. Also, the water monster was really cool.
He's invisible. What?
Overall, a good game. The sequel, Machine for Pigs, scrapped the tinderboxes and lantern oil collections and replaced it with Pig, scrapped the puzzles and replaced them with Pig, scrapped the scripted monster scenes and replaced it with Pig, the story was Pig, the player was Pig, the streets are Pig, and there's a machine. Otherwise, they're the same game. Well, this looks like kind of promising.